Hey everyone, welcome to the Flutter Development Series from Roman Just Codes, where I'll be developing beautiful user interfaces with Flutter. And in this video, I'll be creating a welcome landing page for my Flutter app. In this series, I've been building the UI for a fictional grocery and produce app. And for this episode, I'll be covering the proper usage of stacks for overlapping widgets, creating custom buttons from scratch, as well as setting up a basic initial folder structure for your app. In the previous episode, we built the splash screen. Make sure to check that video. And for this episode, we'll proceed with a welcome/landing page widget. First things first, let's import the assets we'll be using for this widget. I'll need a background image, so I'll bring it into my assets/images folder. In the pubspec.yaml, enable the assets section as such. Let me do some pre-work cleanup by moving some of these widgets I created in the previous episode to their corresponding folders. I'll move the icon font widget to the widgets folder. This way, I'll be able to reuse this widget throughout my app. Back in the main.dart file, fix the references. Later, I'll move the rest of the widget pages. For now, let's proceed. This is the shell widget I created for the welcome page. Now we'll give it more definition. This is the widget page we'll be creating. We need a background image with a bit of an opacity, and on top of it, a container widget with a logo inside. Below, we'll have some text and then a set of buttons. So straight away, you know anytime you have overlapping widgets like this, widgets on top of an image widget like this, you need a stack. And for widgets like the icon, the text, and the buttons, these will be laid out in a column fashion. So let's just do exactly that. Let's remove the placeholder content. Start by setting a color of black with a stack as its topmost child. Inside of the stack, I'll add an image widget surrounded by a position.fill widget. What this does is make the widget fill the entire area of the stack. I'll add a fit of boxFit.cover so it can cover the area and maintain its aspect ratio. My design has a bit of an opacity going on, so yes, you guessed it. We'll use the opacity widget. Very handy. As we add widgets to the stack, they will position themselves one on top of the other. The first item being the bottommost element, in our case, the image. Add a center widget with a column widget as its child. For the circle logo, we'll use a clip oval widget, which will clip a container widget, giving it that round shape. The child of this circle container will be my newly created icon font widget. I'll reference the main logo for this icon font widget. Let's align the icon font inside of the container. Looking really good. The column widget children by default start lining themselves up from the very top. I want the children to start lining themselves up from the center. So I'll use the center alignment for both main axis and cross axis, vertically and horizontally centered, respectively. Let's proceed with the rest of the content. Add a text widget, center align it, add the corresponding styles for it.
Stacks are very versatile in the way they let you lay out their children, on top of one another or absolute positioned in regards to their parent, the stack widget.
Kind of tight. A trick to space things out is either a container widget around the text widget with a margin on it, or just fake the spacing by using a sized box, which renders an empty box with the dimensions given. Very easy. Add another text widget, similar to the above one. Check the text, where I use /n for breaking lines into two, as opposed to using two text widgets. Space it out with another sized box. Now, let me start adding the buttons. You can use the ones provided by the material library, such as flat button. All of these buttons allow for high customization. Add color, padding all around it, and as a child, add a text widget. Customize the text widget with color, font size, and font weight. Note, flat buttons are disabled by default unless you add an onPressed event, even if it's empty. Check it out. I want round edges all around my button, so you add a rounded rectangle border shape to it, with your desired border radius on it. Let's add some spacing with a sized box. The flat button takes its size from the available content, but I kind of wanted to stretch the boundaries of its parent, the column widget. How do I do it? Change the cross-axis alignment from center to stretch. That will force the column widget to stretch to the edges of the screen, and as a consequence, the children will too. Whoa, the icon got messed up, but no worries. That is because the clip oval doesn't have any wrapping widget constraining its width. Let's fix it by wrapping it inside a center widget. And with that, we are back on track. I don't want my buttons to touch the edge of the screen. Simple. Add a padding widget around it. Let's look at the design again. I need another button, a bit different from the top button. But flat button unfortunately doesn't have a border property with transparent content but visible text. What to do? Do we give up? Nope. Since everything is a widget, let's create our very own border flat button. Start by creating a container widget with a text widget as its child with the desired style. Add the box decoration to the container widget, which allows you to set a border radius to it, transparent background, and a border with the desired color and border thickness or width. Center align the content of the text widget. Add some padding all around the container. Now, how to make this container like one of the material buttons with the inkWell effect? Simple. Wrap your container inside a material widget and then inside an inkWell widget, which provides not only the splash color and the highlight color when pressed, but the tapping capabilities. Neat, just like a regular material button, but custom made. You want to match the margin of the above button, so wrap your material widget with a container and apply the right margin, and internally use a clip R rect or clip round rectangle widget to chop off the edges that the material widget adds to your container. We want it to be fully round, no bleeding content. Looking good. Now that we have our layout pretty much done, let's do some refactoring. I've been using the same color value over and over, and I know I'll be bringing in more colors, so why don't we do this now and get it over with. I'll define another handy helper class called app colors, and here I'll define all the colors I'll be using throughout my app, especially this guy, the main color value. Let's do a find and replace for this color by the one from my newly created helper. Import it. Nice. Structure is looking good. So let's do a full reload to see how things are looking overall. Okay, let me now move this welcome page widget class to a folder called pages. Here, I'll add all the widgets I consider as pages moving forward. Anything smaller than that, I'll consider a simple widget. Fix the imports.
As you see, I try to keep my code very organized and structured as much as possible, so you should think about that as you make progress in your application. Put related functionality in folders such as widgets, pages, models, services, assets, you name it.
Back on the app, let's hook up at least one of the buttons we created, and let's make it navigate to a sample category list page, which, just as the welcome page, will add more definition on a later video. First, create the shell widget page called category list page. Add some placeholder content for now. We'll get to it later. Inside the on tap of our custom border flat button widget, add the capability to navigate to our category list page using the navigator.push provision. And that's it. We've been able to create a simple workflow so far. You get a splash screen, a welcome page, which then takes you to our category list page. As a reminder, keep leveraging this simple folder structure we created to keep things neat and organized moving forward. While I'm in cleanup mode, I might as well move the splash page also to the pages folder. That way now my main.dart file is clean and only has what it needs, which is the bootstrapping of the app using the material app widget. Clean and fix the imports. Now, have you guys noticed that the app is not using the fonts that I have on my design called Railway, but the defaults that come out of the box for a Flutter material app? Well, you kind of want to personalize your app by bringing your own font. That applies globally to every single component that shows text. How to do it, you ask? Simple. Import the desired font into the assets/font folder. Change the pubspec.yaml to refer to this newly added font. At the material level, add the theme data to the themed property, specifying as the font family the newly added font family, the same name added to the pubspec.yaml. Rebuild and voila! The new font gets applied on all text and will apply to future text widgets added as well. Well, I hope you learned a thing or two on this video from what we just built. In the next video, we'll tackle the category list page, where we'll go deeper into the list view widget, custom list items, and more usages of the stack widget. Thanks for watching.
That's it for this video, so please stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Hit the subscribe button to stay updated, and please like this video if you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching.